Guess we're going to do this again.
Welcome back to the pod.
Pod? This ain't no pod.
Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Eric.
I'm April.
April said I'm too loud and animated when we start, so I'm starting like this today.
It's refreshing. I don't feel like you're screaming at me in all capitals.
We're sorry for last week.
I'm not sorry. Speak for yourself.
You don't like the listeners?
Yes, I love them.
Yeah, we were going to record last week, and our heat was off, so it was really cold. And then one of the days that we were actually going to record, there was somebody down in our recording area fixing our furnace, and he didn't want to be on the podcast.
Lame.
So we respected his privacy and said, "We'll take a break."
We recorded and he didn't know it.
And that episode will never come out.
And that is this episode. So,
But we're back.
You couldn't help it, could you?
I
Couldn't help
can't
it.
not.
And we're back.
I can't just sit here and be plain old Eric.
Plain
I'm
old.
excited when I get to talk about Disney.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's your show now. Do what you want.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Excited, Eric?
So we have decided, just like all our other episodes, we kind of, take one thing, talk about it for a little bit. We're going to eventually get around the entire World Showcase, not in any particular order, but we're just going to talk about each pavilion. And this week, we're talking about Japan.
Don't ask me why we started with what I think could be one of the hardest pavilions to talk about.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because we don't talk good and we pronounce things wrong?
Because I can't pronounce anything correctly. I feel like I'm definitely not doing this justice because there's so
need to talk about it
history.
like we want to talk about it.
And
yeah, you could go down a whole rabbit hole apparently with the
yes,
history of this pavilion.
And just the little things that
everything
means something.
This
and I'm
is
definitely
a
not
small
going to be doing it
Disney
justice.
Podcast.
Oh, that's really, you're so clever sometimes.
See?
Oh, that's a
Pop
good
quiz.
One.
Which way are you going to walk if you want to get to Japan the quickest? And you're
starting?
You're starting from the main entrance.
Okay. And I've got my eyes closed and I'm going. There's so many walls. There's walls everywhere. I don't know which way to go.
The walls are gone. Well, test track walls.
Okay. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm at Mexico. I don't know how I got here.
Because we always go there first to get margaritas.
No, I went straight from the World Showcase. I'm in Mexico now. I passed.
Your body automatically starts walking to Mexico.
I don't know how I got here. Okay, I'm in Mexico, and I detoured, and now I'm on the Three Caballeros, and I'm stuck, and now I'm texting you like, where do I go? How do I get anywhere? I'm there for hours, and it's time to go home.
I commend your way, because that is normally how we start our Pavilion World Showcase walk. But I said, what's the quickest way? And you should have went towards Canada.
I don't know how to get towards Canada.
I think you would get to Japan a little bit faster if you went that way.
I just know France.
You just know where your favorite
drinks
are.
And I know Mexico. And I don't know how to get anywhere else.
Well, you can literally get
times as I've been to
any
Epcot,
way you want.
Do you remember the one time that I took Addison? We went, because a lot of times we'll go on solo trips with our kids. And me and Addison went once. And I mean, this was not that long ago. I had been at Epcot 100 times at this point, and I still had to stop and ask someone how to get somewhere.
I can't believe
you were embarrassed to death, and you were you were 100 million miles away, and you were dying over the phone.
But I felt it.
I could not get to where I was wanting to go because you.
It's a circle.
but I don't know where I was on the circle.
You just keep walking. You'll
Doesn't
eventually
matter.
get to it.
It doesn't matter. So I had asked someone, you died a little bit in Kentucky, but I found where I
There's
was
still a
wanting
piece of
to
me
go.
dead.
But point is, you always take me everywhere there. I don't even pay attention where I'm at, obviously, because I close my eyes and somehow I just pop into Mexico. I don't even know how I got there. Okay, but anyway, so
we're in Japan.
right. So it's on the World Showcase, of course.
Yes. If you're listening, maybe you've not been to Epcot or, you've not been to Disney World. Epcot has what they call the World Showcase, where it's basically a circle at Epcot, and each little section is a different country.
They're pavilions.
And they're called pavilions, and everything turns into like that country and all that. Well, let's talk about Japan.
Okay. Oh my God. It is so, I just get so excited. I have so much written down and I cannot pronounce any of it.
I get excited probably because of the opposite of what you do. I love Japanese culture and history, but I also love anime and snacks and toys and anything Japan. And so I guess you're going to talk about history, aren't you?
So not really. I mean, no, not really. Mainly what I have is just like a lot of interesting facts that, and really just one thing sort of tied into to history.
Let's hear it.
So, and unfortunately, some of this is repeated. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't do that. Okay, so the Japan Pavilion has two icons. Okay, and if I'm saying this wrong, you tell me because you may know the correct pronunciation. The first being the massive.
Wait a second. What did you say? Correct what?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Pronunciation? Did you say pronunciation?
No, I didn't say pronunciation.
Yes, you did.
I said pronunciation.
What?
Is that even pronunciation? Yeah, what is happening? What is happening? Okay. Anyway, you jerk. It has two icons. The first being the massive Torii Gate. You know what that is? Look it up.
The big red gate.
Right, but
there.
have you seen it also in Japan?
Yes.
Oh,
just on pictures.
Okay, well,
and
then,
anime.
Okay, then you know what? You're going to shut me down this whole thing because all this was news to me, and I was blown away.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, well then, you just ruining it.
Ah.
It welcomes guests to Japan's shores, right? This gate is fashioned after the one found off the coast of Itsukushima Island in southern Japan. And these gates are associated with the Shinto religion and are commonly found at the entrance of Shinto shrines. However, there are some Buddhist temples that incorporate the Torii Gate into their designs as well. They symbolically mark the transition from the profane to the sacred. And it's believed that walking or sailing beneath a Torii Gate purifies the individual and makes him or her worthy to enter sanctified ground. They're traditionally made of stone or wood, and with the latter being painted vermilion. The origins of the Torii Gate are unknown, but there are several different theories. One suggests that they were originally built as perches for roosters to welcome the sun goddess Amaterasu. I don't say if I'm saying that correctly. And then, so in the Japan Pavilion, you will notice barnacles at the base of the Torii Gate. This is a realistic representation of the gate it was modeled after as it sits in the salty waters of Japan's inland sea. But the Imagineers included this detail for a second reason. It denotes age and helps guests believe that this symbol of purity has been here for many centuries.
Nice. That's pretty awesome.
That is all just
another attention to detail from Disney.
Barnacles at the end of where it enters in the water. I mean,
good.
Absolutely mind blown. I've seen them. I've seen it, and I, of course, didn't think a thing about it. It just blows my mind how much detail they put into this. And then the second icon is Goju Notu.
Okay.
Am I saying that correctly?
I
Have you heard of that? Okay. So it's the 5-story pagoda You know what I'm talking about there,
Mhm.
right? So, and if I know I'm butchering these words, just feel free to make fun of me. That's completely okay. So, although pagodas are associated with several religions, they're most commonly linked with Buddhism.
Yeah.
The modern pagoda is an evolution of the ancient Nepal stupa, which was used in house religion relics. As they spread across Asia, their design was altered to fit the needs of the people and their beliefs. The Japan Pavilion icon was inspired by the 8th century pagoda found at Horuri Temple in Nara. I'm terrible. During the planning stages, the Imagineers were incorporating elements from a number of different pagodas. And when their Japanese advisor, so the Japanese advisor, saw their drawings, he explained to them that they had used many Chinese components of the pagoda, and their designs did not accurately represent those found in Japan. So, compared to Chinese pagodas, Japanese structures are muted color, less ornamentation, and their roofs have simple lines. The 5 tiers of the pagoda represent, in ascending order, the elements from which Buddhists believe all things in the universe are created: earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. So it goes into so much detail about how they're divided into several sections, and each section has a symbolic meaning. And then at the Japan Pavilion, we find that 9 rings, which act as wind chimes, are topped with a water flame. Being in Florida, this contains one additional element. What do you think that additional element
In
is?
Florida?
In Florida, that the other pagodas don't have, especially in Japan.
Crazy redneck
A
dude?
lightning rod.
Oh. Oh, that makes
And
sense.
a crazy redneck dude.
Florida man.
But a lightning rod.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, right? So those two, and I've seen both of those, and I honestly thought, oh, those are so pretty. And then just, went on. That's what I have about the two. Well, two, there's really probably one more icon, but, well, I don't know if I'd call it an icon, but there's one more thing that really draws your attention. But those are two big things that you notice immediately whenever you go into the Japan Pavilion. To the right of the pagoda is a typical Japanese garden. And
It's so beautiful there.
I went and looked into a lot of that. And I mean, just into this garden. There's so many little things that they thought to include in this that makes it as, I don't want to say original, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
as possible, as true to Japan as it could be. Even things like that they incorporated in. So in Japan, gardening is considered a high art form. A typical Japanese garden contains a number of elements: water, rocks, and sand. Bridges. They have a bridge there.
Yeah.
We've taken lots of pictures on that. Lanterns, fences, trees and flowers, and fish. And all of these can be found in the Japan Pavilion garden. Of course, the rocks and sand. The rocks represent nature and earth and things like that. And most of the larger stones found in the Japan Pavilion were imported from North Carolina and Georgia, since boulders are not really around in Florida much.
Yeah.
So they incorporated them from there. Of course, the trees and flowers. Trees are symbols of eternal life and are plentiful in the Japan Pavilion. There's, of course, a climatic difference between Japan and Florida, so only a few trees native to Japan can be found in the pavilion. But some of those include the sago palm, the Japanese maple, and the monkey puzzle tree. And then, of course, fish. They have the koi there, and just some, So, yeah, that garden is really, really pretty.
So, not only does it have beautiful landscape, like nods to Japan, like accurate scenery, but we got to talk about food, drinks, and shopping.
The shopping is amazing.
So,
Well, can I add one more thing before we go into those things?
Go ahead.
There's also a castle. So I'm just going to be honest with you. There's a lot of words in this that I can't even sound out. Okay, but basically, this castle is in the back of the Japan Pavilion, and it's almost like a fortress, and it was modeled after Himjai Castle, one of the best preserved fortresses of early Japan. And it is beautiful. It has what was it called? Samurai guarding the outside of it. There's a lot of amazing information about the Japanese castles and how they differ from European castles. And I highly suggest looking all that up and reading about that, because it is a lot more detail than we can go into. But the differences in those castles and why samurai was at the bottom of around the fortress and all that. So it's very interesting. And I just found it fascinating that they even went down to as little as that kind of detail on this castle, you know what I mean, in this small pavilion. So, but anyway, okay, so let's get back to the fun stuff.
So let's talk about entertainment. There are drummers that show up periodically through the day, and they're doing traditional Japanese drumming in front of the pavilion, which is amazing. Then, if you want to take a little stroll through like a museum, there's the Baijutsu-kan Gallery. Now, this is dedicated to all things cute, or kawaii.
Yes, so cute. Oh, my God.
And randomly, they'll have, it's just like a walkthrough where it just showcases, historical, pictures or, figures, and just shows what's cute about Japan. And you have a fun fact of how cute things became a thing, right?
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, so how do you say it?
Kawaii.
Kawaii is deeply embedded in Japanese culture, right? And it's supposed to add a little extra fun to even the most mundane parts of everyday life for them. So this movement started after World War II as a distraction from wartime, right? And I just find that so
Kawaii.
Kawaii.
That's how Google says it.
Kawaii. So I think it started to, try to raise morale and try to focus on some beautiful, positive, everyday, fun, cute things, and it just sort of stuck around. And it is so much fun. That history of cute in that little museum.
One of my favorite things, they actually had a special limited time exhibit, and it was awesome that was one of our first times, or first or second trips, I can't remember, but it was dedicated to just anime.
Oh yeah.
And there was anime like old school anime and new anime and pictures and history on it. It was amazing. I think I probably spent the most time in Japan when that exhibit was going on. I loved it so much.
Well, and it also, I found that it's not just in a store or things like that in Japan. It's also they talked about construction sites will have cute bunnies on their the stuff that they have up, the barriers and stuff, and that's
cool. The drummers and then the gallery. That's some good entertainment. But if you want to do some shopping, you can go to the Mitsukoshu department store, which, let me tell you, it's got everything. It's got a toy store, which is filled with nothing but anime.
It's the only store that exists in North America.
It's amazing. You go through there. There's also a spot where kids can pick up pick a pearl out of a clam or something. What's pearls come out of?
Baby, you're a trader. That's Trader Sam's.
No. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm closing
my
eyes.
An oyster
I'm
clam.
At Trader Sam's. How'd I
what
get here?
What has pearls?
Not me.
Okay. Akoya pearls.
You will find a large, shallow pool with a ton of oysters. These are for pearl hunting.
Yes,
It's a
that's what I'm trying to
staple
say.
within
It's
the
right there.
Japan
It's right
Pavilion.
behind
Yeah,
the
you can
toys.
pay to pick an oyster from the countertop tanks. And if there's one inside, there's a pearl inside, you have it measured and set in jewelry.
Yes. See, that's what I was trying to say. You can do that. You move toward the back, and there's a snack shop and also a sake bar. You can try sake. Then you go over here and you can buy clothes. You and Addison got fitted for kimonos one time.
We did. We still have it.
This store is absolutely amazing. I've spent a lot of money in there, and this is a great place for, I think right now, as a dad who's got kids around 11 to 13, they're not always wanting toys or souvenirs that are just straight up Disney. They're into anime, they're into like cool things like that. This is the perfect place to take them if they want something different from your normal like Mickey Mouse, Goofy souvenirs. So that store is just absolutely amazing. You can spend so much time in there.
Well, so listen to this. Apparently, outside of the store from 1996 to 2013, and I'm gonna butcher this too. Okay, Mayuki, aka the Candy Lady, was a must-see attraction at the Japan Pavilion. Mayuki is a Japanese candy maker, and she made history as the only female to receive training in Japan in the art of Japanese candy making and mezuku. She's only one of 15 people trained in the art.
I can't wait till Don, our friend Don from Hawaii,
I'm so sorry,
listens
Don.
to this.
Oh my God.
He is going to be judging us so hard.
Oh, he's just going to be laughing.
Probably.
He's just going to laugh at us.
So let's get down to business here.
No, but we might have seen her because we were there at that time.
Yeah, at that time we didn't have as much access to the internet, and we didn't know all these things.
No, I didn't know.
I was just in there buying Dragon Ball Z posters.
True.
So, you want to eat, you want to drink in Japan?
I do.
They have everything.
Let's go.
So, you got 3 quick service areas, and you got 3 table service areas. Quick service, Kabuki Cafe, Katsura Grill, and the Garden House.
I got so much information about the Katsura Grill.
Well, tell me about it.
So it was designed to resemble a tea house that might be found in the Katsura Imperial Village in Kyoto. And, do you notice how it's right beside the garden? Because tea houses are usually near a garden and traditionally used for performing the tea ceremony. Right? The tea ceremony is a really special event in Japanese culture, and it's considered an art form too in itself. And so it's just like even that, even the place where the grill is in contrast to the garden is put there on purpose.
This is going to be your spot. This is kind of like your basic, chicken teriyaki. This has got
Japanese
the sushi is like spicy roll, California roll. Everything's like $9 to like $12. It's got kids meals. They've got chicken teriyaki, beef and shrimp teriyaki. You can get noodles and salad. This is kind of just your basic like quick service in Japan. Then going back a little bit, the Kabuki Cafe. That is, when you come on from American Pavilion, American Showcase there.
Sure. Into Italy?
What?
Wait, what? That's the other way.
No.
Is Italy near?
Oh, gosh.
Babe, take me somewhere.
So this is just a little stand. The little stand there, it's got like...
Oh, yeah. Like it's right beside where the funnel cake place is in America.
A couple of sushi things. It's got like frozen beer. It's got like the slush and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
You look confused.
That's just my normal look.
The Garden House. That has my favorite...
Is that the purple drink?
The purple drink.
Is that where the purple drink is?
AKA the violet sake.
Yep. It's very sweet.
That little bar is amazing. It's like a little sake bar, and they have cocktails, and they're so nice in there, and they always give me too much, and I never say no. They're like, so. But another place is if you're there during Food and Wine or any festival, there's always a booth there,
and they have cold ramen. Oh my God, it's so
cold
good.
ramen. It's so good.
Oh, the cold ramen is delicious.
So you've got little snack stands, bar stands, and kind of your basic quick service Japanese food. But then you've also got 3 table service.
Yes.
Takumi Tae, Teppan Ito, and Shikisa Sushi. So going backwards from what I just said, Shikisa Sushi is your like extravagant, expensive, like legit sushi bar. Or not sushi bar, but like table service sushi. Like you want a full, you're in Epcot and you're like, I want to go full sushi, you go there. Then Takumi Tae it's like $60 and above place. It's got the extravagant Japanese experience. And Teppan Ito is like your hibachi. So it's kind of medium priced, I would say, from anywhere from $20 to $40 per person. So you can do hibachi, you can do like a sit down, like extravagant, like Japanese, culinary experience, or you can do expensive sushi. It's got everything. It's just the best. I could spend hours there just sitting, having a drink, having a little side of sushi, and just looking at all the details of Japan.
Yep, me too. I think
kids or no kids, any pavilion, I'm going to say take your kids, because there's also kids stops in all these places where they can color, they can collect things, they can play little games. You've got to take time in Epcot, and I know it's hard. The kids are tired sometimes. They don't want to do things, but really try not to pass up the details of all these pavilions in the World Showcase.
So I do want to, have you ever wondered why there's no attraction? Why there's no, because
like
think
a
about,
ride?
Well, a ride or a movie, or, Canada has, is it Canada that has the Apple thing?
Yeah.
And
the cider and everything.
Right, but like a lot of them either have. Remember that the France has that one that we went in and
oh my gosh,
yeah. But they all have, not all of them, but they will have an attraction or a ride or something. So I started wondering why Japan doesn't. And apparently, early plans called for the castle to be an entryway into an attraction titled "The Winds of Change." And then that was later changed to Meet the World. And it was a show, and it was going to, so it was a 4-act show in the spirit of Carousel of Progress, right? So basically, it's a presentation, sort of, I guess, akin to like the American Adventure, where you would maybe have like the audio animatronic figures, right? And it was also being developed for Tokyo Disneyland, where it was an open-day attraction in Tomorrowland, okay? So in Tokyo Disneyland, it ran from 1983 to 2002. And it presented a history of Japan in 4 acts, okay? Act 1 opened to current-day Japan, and it had 2 children discussing their country's past, okay? And then they're joined by a magical talking crane that would transport them back in time and allow them to see for themselves the colorful history of their nation. So then they would go back through all of this, like the beginnings, like volcanic beginnings. And then they talk about like early trading with other nations and blah, 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 right? So it sounds really cool. It's like a show, and it showed the history of everything.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everything goes dark. And the little girl goes, "It's awfully dark." And the crane says, "Yes, it was dark, but that's all over now." And then so what do you think was going on there during that time in Japan's history when everything just went dark and all they say is, "It's awfully dark. Yes, it was dark, but it's all over now"?
Oh, The atomic
World War
bomb.
II.
Yeah.
World War II, right? So they don't address Japan's role in World War II or say anything at all about it. The entire history was summed up in 3 sentences. So Disney executives were afraid that like sort of glossing over that time in Japan's history would offend guests, especially veterans and those who fought in World War II. So it was scrapped and it never came to fruition in Japan.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They also had another attraction like a roller coaster to race through Mount Fuji. And it was supposed to be in the same manner as the Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland. They had several different ideas, but basically none of them ever came to fruition. And yeah. So.
Well, I like it the way it is, but
Yeah, me too.
I could
always get down with
I could
racing on
always
Mount
have
Fuji.
some fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll race on Mount Fuji.
Okay, let's race.
Okay, let's go. That's all I got.
No game?
I don't have a game. I'm not going to lie. I was so enthralled in all of this that there was, I had no fun time in my head. It was all learning and just immersive Japanese culture and history. And I didn't come up with a game. So sorry.
Well, I have a game.
Oh.
For you.
Oh, bring it. Let's go.
All right, let's play a game.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be terrible. It's off the top of your head. You're not even prepared.
Well, I thought you had a game. So, when we first went to the Japanese Pavilion.
Oh, my God. I mean, I literally don't even know how to get there. But sure, ask me a question. I'm sure I'll remember.
What type of poster did I buy? First trip.
Is it that one that was hanging in our house?
Mm-hmm.
Not Dragon Ball Z. Is it Dragon Ball Z?
It was a Dragon Ball Z poster.
Yeah, and he's in our second house. You put it right in the foyer when you walked in.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Good. No.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that wasn't from there.
Oh. Okay.
But I did have one hanging in our first house from there. It was Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Well, okay. I did okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, though. I do want to say one more thing.
What?
Japan Pavilion during COVID. Hilarious and awful at the same time. Because you're so used when you go into the Japan Pavilion, everyone there is Japanese. And it's very authentic, and you
they're
sort
very
of
polite.
I mean, they're amazing, and you feel like you're in Japan as close. I mean, we've never been to Japan, but you know what I'm saying. Disney tries really hard to make that as an immersive experience as possible. Well, during COVID, I don't know. I'm assuming maybe the workers went back to Japan. I don't know exactly what happened, but now all of a sudden we have, Tina and George and Bob, and they're all working in the Japan Pavilion, and they are not nice. They are not nice. They are not Japanese, and they are not kind, and they could care less. They could care less if you are not happy, and they are not giving you that Disney experience that you're come to love at Epcot. So it was definitely a different experience during COVID, for sure. Like I'm sure, all the pavilions were like that.
Right.
But one that really stood out was the Japan Pavilion. So.
One more question.
Oh, God, yes.
What anime have I watched?
One Piece.
Well, that's right. I was going to say what has the most episodes of any anime I've ever watched.
I mean, that's easy.
What anime?
Dragon D Hunter.
No. What anime did you fully get invested in years?
High School something.
Huh?
High School something.
Close.
High School D Hunter. High School
Not
Vampire
Hunter D.
High School of the Dead.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
One of the most fan servicey animes ever, and you loved it.
I did. I didn't want it to end.
And then
That and the cooking one that we
last-
would lay in the bed and
Yeah,
watch.
Food Wars.
Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
Rank Japan. Blind rank Japan. No, sorry. Rank Japan 1 through 11, because there's 11 pavilions. Rank it right now.
3.
3. You don't have to say anything else.
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
2.
Okay.
3, really?
Yeah. See if you
Okay.
know who they are. No, just see if you know what they are.
Mexico, France, Japan.
You're Mexico,
Yes,
Japan,
Japan.
France. It has to be France. You love Frozen.
That's
Oh wait,
that's
that's. I mean,
should I leave that in there for everybody?
no, I didn't mean that. F and a F. France and Frozen.
Well, that's an episode.
I promise.
Bonus question: where is Frozen at?
I promise.
Where is Frozen
I
at?
promise that I'm a Disney fan. I promise.
Where's Frozen?
Norway.
Thank you. That's an episode. If you want to follow the show, you can go to Instagram. It's a Small Disney Podcast. If you want to follow me at Whiskey Mutant, if you want to follow April at Smith April 859, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Leave us some comments on our post. Leave. I think you can do fan mail on Buzzsprout. That's where we post our
OnlyFans?
No, but if you want to get into that, we'll see. We'll see how it happens. No, that's our podcast posting site. And then we're on Spotify and Apple, all the things. We'll see you next time. I'm Eric.
I'm April. Sorry.
Where's Frozen at again?
Sorry about all that.
Where's Frozen
I
at
butchered
again?
everything. Bye.
This has been It's a Small Disney Podcast.